friends, welcome to Vlogmas Day 11. It is 6:08 a.m. on Wednesday, December 21st. For some reason, I cannot for the life of me remember to look at the date and time before I press record, and then I press record and I'm like, what is today? But today's day 11. And for today, we are talking about something pretty fun. We're not talking about anything spinning related, but it is still making. I just almost threw my wheel on the floor. So that's my life. I literally almost just threw my wheel on the ground trying to get it closer. We're not talking about anything spinning related, but we are still talking about making. So I hope you stick around. First, I will get my bobbin off so you could see how day 10. I can't believe I called it day 8 and day 9 for like most of that video and didn't realize it was day 10 until like the last 5 minutes. But it's December. It's been a wild month. It's the busiest month of the year for me because I'm wrapping up projects to go on like my vacation. And so it's been an interesting few weeks. Here is how day 10 finished up. So here are the colors, and it's like pink and blue and purple and kind of frosty, kind of icy. I am going to have to rewind my singles on this bobbin, and I was not going to rewind my singles on any of my bobbins, but if you watch day 10, I realized that I was spinning this on the wrong ratio, and it was just getting overspun, and so there are some unfortunate pigtails in my single. So by rewinding my bobbin to a storage bobbin, I get to distribute that twist. Depending on like how far away my bobbin is from my storage bobbin, I'll get to redistribute that twist over the singles. So I am going to rewind this bobbin. I'm not going to rewind the rest of my bobbins because the rest of my bobbins are okay. But this one I want to rewind because I really want to deal with that extra twist in these singles. Otherwise, when I go to ply it, it's going to be a nightmare. And I'm going to end up with like really weird bits in my plied yarn. So I use the Bobbins Up system, which I recently learned the Woolery no longer sells, which makes me really sad and also means I have to like preserve my storage bobbins forever and ever if I can't get them replaced. But pretty much what you do is you put the bit on a drill attachment and then you run the electric drill and it spins it and it spins the yarn off of your bobbin onto a storage bobbin. I like to rewind my singles whenever I'm spinning a true worsted yarn, but this was like play yarn, so I don't really care. But I am going to rewind it because that, depending on how far away your bobbin is from your storage bobbin that's winding, all that mileage that it has to travel redistributes the twist in your singles. And that might help where my singles are overspun. Because just looking at it, there's definitely like 6 or 7 pigtails in that single. And it was just I was spinning it at the wrong whirl. That's what it was. I should have slowed down the whirl. Instead of messing with the tension, I should have just slowed down the whirl to begin with. But that BFL silk challenged me a little bit. I've never spun the BFL silk from Nest, and it just, because the silk and the BFL were not blended super well, like it was just the strips of silk on top of it, I was having a little trouble drafting it. That would have been better drafted from the fold and drafted woolen because the fibers would have blended better. But if I had done that, then I would have muddied the colors and I wouldn't have gotten the strict color repeat. So that's what it was. That fiber just challenged me a little bit, and because it was challenging me, I should have altered my settings and slowed down so I didn't over twist my yarn. You live and you learn. Day 11. Cue the present dance. Let's see what Jen has cooked up for us today. Much excitement. I'm wearing another Animal Crossing hoodie. I have a lot of them. I wear my media obsessions with pride on my body. So there you go. If you didn't know that about me, now you do. You guys, this is... You guys, it's my nemesis. It was too good to be true that we made it all 12 days without Ravelry. But here we are. It's so pretty though. It's my nemesis. All right, here we are. I'm gonna roll it back up. Listen, I can spin Ravelry. It's not that I can't spin it. We will see how this goes. Maybe it's been so long that I've spun Ravelry that I'm just like hyping it up in my head to be something that I don't enjoy, and it's just that I needed a break because I was spinning so much Ravelry. It's super pretty though. If yesterday was like the frosty version of the Little Mermaid, this is the like tropical, like if yesterday was the Arctic version of the Little Mermaid, this is the tropical, like Atlantic Ocean. Is the Atlantic Ocean tropical? I guess along the equator it is. This is the tropical version. This is her tropical sister. Hello. Okay. Today we are talking about sewing. We're going to talk about my top 5 sewing looks. Because I was going to do my top 5 sewing projects. And then I realized that whenever I photograph the things I make, I always photograph them in outfits so that I'm not photographing something ready to wear with something I made. So we're going to talk about my top 5 sewing looks from this year. I learned to sew this year. For perspective, I learned to sew over the summer through YouTube University. I bought a secondhand machine, taught myself how to sew, fell in love, bought a serger, and then became obsessive. I mean, if you've been here long enough, you probably could tell. I get fixated, and then I end up buying so much fabric and got super obsessed. And now I have so much fabric in my apartment, so I probably should sew it up. But we're gonna talk about my top 5 sewing looks from 2022 while I grapple with the Rambo. Okay, I popped my whirl back up to the highest ratio because Rambolet needs a lot of twist. So we are back at 18:1 or 17:1, whatever the highest ratio is on the Lendrum. One of my wheels is 17:1 and one of my wheels is 18:1, and I can't keep them straight. But whatever the highest whirl on the ratio, on the highest spinning ratio on this wheel, that's what we're back to because Rambolet needs a lot of twist. So we're going to talk about my top 5 looks, capital L, for 2022. And these are like my top 5 spinning projects of 2022 are in no particular order. For a second I was like, do I have a top 5 for knitting? And then I was like, I didn't make anything this year but a bunch of hats. And I made all those hats in the last like 3 months. I did not have any like finished objects knitting wise this year besides some hats and those mittens. But I did make a lot of sewing. Make it make sense. I did do a lot of sewing and make a lot of clothes. So I think to start, what should we start with? We'll start with my hard pants and my, I call it my big gay lumberjack jacket. So the top is the Seamwork Bud Shacket, and the pants are the worker trousers by Modern Sewing Co. And part of the reason why this look is on my list is one, it's just really fab. I felt really, really good in it. But this outfit had so many firsts in it. It was my first pair of hard pants. And for perspective, hard pants are pants that don't have any elastic in the waistline. Like you gotta fit your waist. And it was my first, I'd made trousers before, but all my trousers had elastic in the back, so that if I didn't nail the fit of the waistband, like it had elastic in the back, so it was, a little bit forgiving. So it wasn't my first zip fly, and I'm glad that I did my first zip fly and like with a button and everything before I did the hard pants, because that would have just been too much excitement on one project. So it wasn't my first zip fly, but fitting the waistband on those pants was wild. And I did use the top down center out method. You can find her name's Ithaca Maven on Instagram. She has lots and lots of videos on how to fit pants, because I figured it would just be easier to do a holistic fitting approach versus like, all right, fit the crotch curve, fit the rise, fit the this, fit the that. The top down center out method is like a more holistic, a well-rounded, like you just do one thing and you fit your pants versus like adjusting. Oh, you need a knock knee adjustment. Oh, you need a flat seat adjustment. Like I knew I was not going to be able to make a pair of pants if I had to do that. So I used the top down center out method, and I made them out of like a really thick cotton canvas. And it was the first time my first time sewing something so thick, and my sewing machine and I, we had some long days trying to, especially with the waistband, because there's just so many layers of fabric by the time you get there. But it was great. It's a great fitting pair of pants. I have some fabric to cut out a second, and I think I'm going to make it a little bit longer because these are just over ankle length on me. And they fit well for like a summer pair of pants, but like if I were to wear those in the winter, my ankles would just be cold and out. I could wear it like tucked into boots or something, but I'm just going to make a longer pair. But I really, really, really like them. I really enjoy them. If you are interested in any of these makes, I have all my Instagram captions have like all the details on these projects. So if you're interested or you want to see more pictures, you can always just go check them out there. So I paired these pants with the Seamwork Bud Shacket. It's a shirt jacket, so it's a shacket. And I made it out of some rainbow flannel that I got at Joann's. And it is, I mean, I feel like this is the best thing I've made all year. It was my first time making a placket on the sleeve cuffs, and I'm so proud of those plackets. Like, y'all, I'm so proud of those plackets. Now, I will say that even though there are straight lines in the plaid, I managed to cut the entire shirt front off grain, which is like a new level of chaos where there are literally straight lines in your fabric and you just ignore the straight lines in your fabric and cut them off grain anyway. So don't look at it too closely, and I probably will never wear it buttoned up because it becomes very obvious that it's off grain. But I made it to wear it open over like t-shirts. Like I'm wearing it over a crop top here because I was wearing it in like September. But I did make it to wear it over t-shirts and not really to wear it shut. But this is definitely one of my favorite looks of 2022. Every time I wear my rainbow jacket, I get so many compliments on it. People are like, where'd you buy that? And then I get to do the thing that every maker wants to do where you go, thanks, I made it. And you get that like instant dopamine rush. You know what I'm talking about. If you have something handmade on and someone goes, oh my God, I love that, where'd you get it? And then you get to go, thanks, I made it. You don't like sleep for a week. You know. When it happens, you know. Okay, so look number 2. What is number 2? Number 2 on this list, and again, this is not in any particular order. I did, like, last night, I went through my phone, and I was like, ooh, this is a good look, and ooh, this was a good look, and it was very hard to narrow it down to the top 5, and now I'm trying to remember what's on that list, because it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Number 2 on that list was my Frocktails dress. So Frocktails is a party by sewists for sewists, and pretty much the point is you make like a handmade outfit in your style. It's called Frocktails, so like, I think people think you have to wear dresses, but the point is just to make a handmade outfit in your style. And then you go to like a cocktail party and hang out with a bunch of other sewists and just like talk shop all night and meet people. And you take pictures with other people and you get to like see what other people's styles are and what they're wearing and what they're making. So we had a New York City Frocktails party this year. And I actually won the ticket for him. I won my ticket, so I didn't even have to pay to go, which I was really cool, but happy about, because I almost never win anything. So the fact that like I won a ticket, but I did only have a week to make my dress. And I was like, what can I make that would be bomb in a week? So I made the Saltwater slip by Friday Pattern Company in a like slinky polyester crepe. And then I decided to make a sheer Wilder gown on top of it. So my Wilder gown is made from polka dot, I don't know if this is considered tulle. I feel like tulle is probably the best way of explaining it. So my Wilder gown is made from polka dot tulle, and it is ankle length. And then I made a knee length saltwater slip out of polyester crepe to wear underneath it. And the dress alone was like super fun, but I feel like the way I styled it really like took it over the top. So I wore it with tights, and then I wore sneakers because 1, I had to take the train, it was raining, and 2, I was just like, I'm already the tallest person in the room 90% of the time. I'm not wearing high heels, and it just felt really comfy, cozy, kind of cool with my sneakers. And I wore a hat because I wear hats everywhere. I mean, I feel like you'll see this. That might be a trend in all these pictures, is how many times I'm wearing hats. But I wear a hat. Like, instantly putting a hat on makes me feel fancy. Even if I don't feel like super well dressed, if I put a hat on, I instantly feel like a fancier version of myself when I put a hat on. And I had a great night. It was really nice. I had never is like, that's a weird way of saying it. I didn't know that many local sewists because I'd only been sewing for about 6 months at that point. So I hadn't even been sewing all that long to like really get to meet a lot of the people in the New York City sewing community. So it was really nice to meet local sewists and to like talk about where we get our fabrics and like what our favorite designers are. Also, like, I should have said this at the top, but part of the reason why I started sewing my own clothes, it was very hard for me to find clothes that fit my body in a way that made me feel good. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm not like a small woman. In conventional like store sizes, I wear a size 18 pant, and then I wear anywhere from a large to extra large top. I'm considerably smaller on the top than I am on the bottom, so it makes it really hard to buy dresses because my body's 3 different sizes, and it makes it really hard to buy pants because my waist and my hips are 2 different sizes. So I never really got to do the whole high-waisted things because I could never get pants that fit my waist and my hips the way that they were supposed to. And then on top of that, everything was always too short for me because I was so tall. So that's part of the reason why I decided to learn how to make my own clothes. I was like, I'm sick of this. I can probably dress myself and make myself feel better than any ready-to-wear like outfit can. And that's part of the reason why I decided to start making my own clothes. And so when I went to Frock Tales, it was so nice to hear that so many people had the same like affirming journey where it was like, I could never get ready-to-wear clothes to fit me. And when I started making my own clothes, I instantly felt like a better version of myself when I started making my own clothes. And it's really affirming to be in a room of people who feel the same way about like clothes that you do. It's really, really nice to be able to put something on and have it fit. Like, and I wear lots of sweatpants because that's just the easiest thing to get right. But it's just nice to not have to do that and to have other options. So now I have dresses that fit me and I have trousers that fit me, and I can make alterations to patterns to make them work for my body instead of the problem, because I used to think I had to make my body work for clothes, and like that doesn't make any sense. Like, make the clothes work for you. So if you're interested in sewing, I mean, I feel like you should. It's a rad hobby. It's way more instant gratification than knitting and spinning ever will be. And it's really cool to just be able to like present your best face to the world. I also learned that my style is a lot more, this is different, this is way off base from my top 5, but I learned that my style is a lot more androgynous than I thought it was, because I was wearing what was considered hyper femme, because that's all I could get to fit my body. And once I realized I could make my own clothes, I could explore like silhouettes that I never really had access to, and I've realized that my style is a lot more androgynous than I thought it was. I really enjoy men's silhouettes, so it's cool now that I do that. So yes, so that's top number 2 on my list is my Frock Tales dress, my slinky sheer nightgown. I call it my slinky sheer gothic nightgown because it has like a tie, like you tie it at the neck, and it has ruffles, and it just feels like it feels like I'm a ghost haunting the halls of a Victorian mansion, but then I'm wearing sneakers, and I like the dichotomy of that. Okay, number 3 on the list would be my Nepheline blouse and my Saturday shorts. So the top I'm wearing in this one is the Vivian Shao Chen Nepheline blouse, and I paired it with a pair of shorts by Enderall Sews. The blouse is made out of cotton voile, so it is a really sheer, lightweight cotton fabric, and then the shorts are made out of cotton twill. And I think both of these fabrics are from Blackbird Fabrics, but don't quote me. The shorts are definitely from Blackbird. No. The shorts are from Blackbird Fabrics. The top fabric I got from Brooklyn General. That's where it was. And I just, this outfit just feels really put together. Both of these patterns were patterns that I tested for the designers, and I'm really, really happy with them. I have not worn shorts, and part of the reason why this outfit's on the list is I have not worn shorts in probably 5 or 6 years. I had trouble, I mean, again, I have a lot of trouble with pants, and a lot of the shorts that are available these days are high-waisted, and I can't get them to fit me, and then they were always too short. I mean, I'm 6 feet tall, and all my height is in my leg, so if I'm wearing like a 3-inch inseam, it's kind of indecent. Like, literally my whole life is out. So I have not worn shorts during the summer. I wear lots of dresses, and I wear lots of skirts, but I have not been able to find shorts. And it was really nice to have shorts that I could wear this summer. I ended up making 3 pairs of these because they just fit. Actually, I'll show you the other pair I made. They just fit. They worked. They were high-waisted. They had belt loops so you could kind of like jazz them up and make them look good. And then I lengthened the inseam of them so they didn't feel like I didn't feel on display or uncovered in these shorts the way I feel in ready-to-wear shorts all the time. So I love these pants. And this blouse is so much fun. It has, I mean, I feel like, again, I feel like a Victorian ghost in this because it has like the stiff little ruffle at the top. And then it has like this A-line silhouette. It has pin tucks in the sleeves. Like, how romantic are pin tucks in the sleeves? Like, you have no idea, guys. It has pin tucks in the sleeves. And I put really fun buttons on them. And then fun story about this top is I put really fun buttons on them. And then after I put the fun buttons, I realized the buttons were upside down. So the buttons have a little scene on them. It's like trees and deer. It's like 2 trees and a deer. And I realized that I put all the buttons upside down. And I did not care enough to take the buttons off and do them again. And I don't expect anyone to like come up to me and look at my buttons and go, hey Tashi, do you know your buttons are upside down? Because that means you are too close to me and you are violating all the rules of personal space, and get away from me. But yeah, all the buttons on my top are upside down. And I was really frustrated about that because I was like, I couldn't even get one right side up. Like I literally put all 5 buttons on this top upside down. It's a great outfit. I wear both of these pieces separately all the time. I actually wear my Saturday shorts like a lot more dressed down than this. I wear it with like a t-shirt and then I walk to work. And then I dress up my Nepheline blouse. But it's just cool to show like how you can dress up a basic and make them look glam. And also the recipe, again, just put a hat on. And I'm wearing Birkenstocks with like 90% of these outfits because I live in my Birks. So I'm not even wearing fancy shoes, but I just put on a fancy hat. And then I'm instantly more polished than I was 5 seconds ago. Okay, I hate to jinx myself, but I think all things considered, this Rambouillet is not going too poorly. But I feel like as soon as I say that, something terrible is going to happen. But all things considered, the Rambouillet is not going too poorly. It's drafting fine. I don't know why I'm so mad at it all the time. I'm sure there was a reason why I have decided it's my nemesis. Maybe it's because I'm a Scorpio and I have big Scorpio energy and it means I need something to hate. And I have just decided that Rambouillet was that thing, but this is spinning fine. There must be a reason. Look, I'm not a crazy person. I mean, I might be. So back to the looks. Number 4. What's number 4? Oh, number 4 would be my Hinterland dress by So Liberated. This dress is on this list because it was my first time doing a set-in sleeve. Before this, all the sleeves that I had done were grow-on sleeves where it's like attached to pretty much the bodice of your dress and then all you do is do like a little cuff. But this was the first time I had to do a set-in sleeve and it was kind of scary because you gotta like gather the stitches and set in your sleeve, and I was just like, ooh, this is not gonna go well. This is gonna be terrifying, and it actually went just fine. I did not do the button placket version of this dress because at this point I had not sewn a button front, and I was like, today's not gonna be the day I experiment. I mean, obviously after this I made a million button down, so clearly I got over that fear very quickly. But the Hinterland I think is pretty early in my sewing journey. I want to say it's like one of the 4th or 5th things I made. It was very early on in my sewing journey. It's a nap dress. That's what it is. It's a nap dress. You can put it on and roam the streets and then take a nap and get back up and roam the streets. It is super comfy. I made it out of sand-washed cotton from Blackbird Fabrics, and again, I'm wearing it with a hat and Birkenstocks. Do you see the trend? This particular day I had worn it on a little picnic to the Botanic Garden with some of my friends, and I was like, ooh, a picnic dress. You know, it's a perfect picnic dress, my green dress that I wear all the time. I love this dress. I throw it on and I just instantly feel polished. It's made with a gathered waist, so you have lots of room. It does have some bust darts, and it has a bias bound neck. So once you can do like the only new skill in this dress for me was the set-in sleeves. And when I was picking sewing projects, I tried to pick a project where I learned one new thing. I didn't want to learn 5 new things because that stressed me out. But I tried to pick projects where I was learning one new thing with every project. So this one, gathered waist, knew how to do that. Bias bound neckline, knew how to do that. So we were doing the set-in sleeves, and that's why I didn't do the button placket. But I do have some black and white flannel that I'm going to make a winter Hinterland dress out of, and I'm going to do the full-on button placket, and it's going to be great. I had such lofty winter sewing goals, and then I started spinning again, and I have not sewn at all because I didn't have... Honestly, it feels like my interest, like once I get like hyper fixated on one thing, there's no room for anything else until I get over that hyper fixation. And right now I'm hyper fixated on spinning. And in a few weeks, there will be space for me to spin and sew again. And then I can work on my winter sewing because I have so many winter sewing plans. I'm going to make jeans. I have all this flannel. I have so much plans, and then I'm not doing anything with it. But pretty much that is my plan. But I love the Hinterland dress. I love how customizable it is. It has long sleeves, it has short sleeves, it's sleeveless, it has a button placket, it has a half placket, it has no placket. It's a really good staple to build like a whole... You can make like 20 of these dresses and they all look a little bit different. So it's a really good staple. And So Liberated does have sew-alongs for like 90% of their patterns. So like if you don't know how to do something, you can just watch the sew-along on YouTube and figure it out. I think that's why I really appreciate indie pattern designers, is a lot of them do online sew-alongs. Like Friday Pattern Company does a lot of online sew-alongs. And so like if you're ever stuck in a pattern, you could just go to the designer's YouTube channel and figure out where you're stuck and what you're doing wrong. And then, or not, I don't like saying what you're doing wrong, but like pretty much where you're stuck and where you could use some guidance. That sounds nicer. And you can get some guidance from their YouTube channels. So that is number 4. And number 5 on my list is yet another button down. It is the Gilbert top by Helen's Closet and the Laetitia skirt by Just Patterns. This Gilbert top I call my dad shirt because it is made in such a dad fabric. Like this leaf print feels very dad energy to me. And then the Gilbert top is a very like, it feels very gender neutral. Like it's not cut at an A-line. It's very straight lines. It does have a bust dart, but it also has like a little chest pocket, and the sleeves are kind of wide set, and it has that camp collar, and it feels very like fun gender to me. And then when you make it out of a really weird fabric like this, it gives me very much dad shirt energy. My favorite way to wear my Gilbert top actually is to wear it with my oversized Arthur pants and to really play with silhouette and shape. It's my favorite way to wear this top. But I'm wearing it here with a wrap skirt, which again, part of the reason why this is on this list is I never had a wrap skirt because I was always afraid that there was not enough fabric and that they would like come undone on me and like expose me to the world. And I love the shape and idea of wrap skirts, but I just never had one for myself. And then I made one. I will tell you, this wrap skirt put me through it though, because it has a baby hem, which is it has an 1/8 of an inch hem. Like in what universe? Why are the gods so unkind that this pattern needed a hem that was an 1/8 of an inch that you had to double press and roll? I saw God, I saw the Father, I saw everybody trying to do this baby hem. But it really worked out nicely. It's a really well fitted and well cut pattern, and it like has good shape to it, and I feel like really shapely in it. I really like it. And I thought it was fun to pair it with my dad shirt for a little bit of like fun silhouette blending. I think that's the cool thing about being able to like figure out what your own design is and your own aesthetic is. You get to just experiment, and then you wear outfits and you're like, hey, this wasn't it for me. And then sometimes you wear an outfit and you're like, oh, I don't want to wear anything but this forever and ever. And this Laetitia skirt Gilbert top combo was definitely up on my list for things that I loved wearing, and I loved the way I felt in it. And then obviously, you know, you put a hat on it and everything is like hunky-dory. So those are my top 5 looks for 2022. Sewing has brought so much joy to my life. It's brought a lot of fantastic people into my life that I like. Even now that I'm not sewing right now, like I still talk to daily and I keep up with what their projects are, and we just chit chat. It's really like opened so many amazing doors. I mean, I don't want to like harp on body positivity, but it's also just nice to like feel like a good version of yourself when you have to present yourself to the world. I mean, there's so much social anxiety in going outside and having to be a person. Like, isn't it nice to just feel nice when you do that? I don't know. And also, it has also completely distilled down my color palette. Apparently, all I wear are olive greens, mustard, camel colors, like rose and blush and black. So now I gotta like really make an effort. Like, I'm looking at my fabric stash right now, and it's literally just those like 5 colors over and over in different incarnations. And nary a bit of hot pink to be found. So clearly that's not, I know my color palette and I stick to it. But that's it for today, you guys. Happy Vlogmas. Quick reminder that the next Vlogmas episode is the last Vlogmas episode, so we can all cry together. But it's going to be a Q&A. So if there are any burning questions you have for me, leave them in a comment today or tomorrow, today and tomorrow, because I'll be filming it Friday morning. So today's Wednesday. If you see this Wednesday or Thursday, leave a comment in the description box if you have a question for me. It can be spinning related, it can't be sewing related, it can just be like Tashi related, and I will try to answer them. Because I'm really looking forward to just kind of doing a little bit of a chit chat. Ooh, this Rambley is getting away from me. I'm really looking forward to just kind of doing like a chit chat for our last Vlogmas episode, since we've hung out all month and I feel like you guys have gotten to know me a little bit. I thought you might want to get to know me a little bit better. And then going forward, I have a few more videos planned for the rest of the year, and then we'll kiss 2022 goodbye and welcome 2023 with open arms. I'm really excited about what this new year has in store for us. I learned so much creatively in 2022, and I honestly think it's just going to keep going. So that's it for today. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for spending your month with me. I can't believe this Vlogmas series is almost over, but thank you so much for spending your month with me, and I will see you for the Q&A.